Republican candidate for governor, Scott Walker.
And I've always appreciated the leadership, not only the WDA, but in my district, the 14th Assembly District, when I was serving the Assembly. Mike very much did a good job of keeping me up to speed on all the issues. I had the honor of serving for about 9 years in the legislature, and all that time was on the health committee. So many of the issues that are important are issues that I've talked about in the past. Even outside of issues, thinking about the Mission University, thinking about your Smiles contest, all the positive things you do in the state and throughout individual communities as dentists and as an association, but also knowing how important the issues of state government are to you as an industry, to you as an association, but specifically to you as individual practitioners, to healthcare professionals in our state. I've known that this is something that Mike's talked to me about years and years ago, but know it well when we think about MA dental services, how important it is for the state to recognize a partnership between state government and those dentists and practitioners here in the state of Wisconsin, and making sure not only when it comes to reimbursement that we're mindful of the interest of those in the dental profession, particularly even things as simple as dealing with the issues of those patients who don't show up, and the challenges it poses on you, not only in terms of reimbursement and scheduling and fitting in the other patients that you have as part of your caseload, how important it is for the state to work with you to make that a reasonable situation. One of the most troubling things I have seen, amongst many other things that trouble me with the current administration in our state's capital, is on issues like the dental examiner board, where when I look at an association of any sort, not just the WDA, but of any sort that represents nearly 85% of all the professionals in the state of Wisconsin, and yet over the years I've seen that this administration hasn't actively reached out, not necessarily to rubber stamp, but at least to partner, at least to understand who are the individuals who are on the examining board. Do they accurately reflect a cross-section, not only of different types of professions within the dental profession, but of different geographic interests and so forth. To me, that's very important. And I know when it comes, for example, to the examining board, when I look at the appointments I make to cabinet positions, to commissions, to boards, to foundations, to others, I take them very seriously. And I also seek out, and I think I've got a proven track record, that when I make appointments like that, I don't make them in a vacuum. Even though I'm the first Republican ever to be elected countywide, I make appointments that cross the political spectrum, because I try to put people based on merit, and more often than not, when I'm dealing with issues that affect a large cross-section of a profession or an industry, I go to the associations that represent the broadest group of members in those industries and seek out their input, their names, their suggestions, and that's something I can tell you firmly here today. It's come 354 days from now, I have the honor of being elected as your next governor. Whether it's with the examining board, whether it's with the MA process, whether it's with any of the other issues that you've talked about in the past, and most certainly we'll be exploring new ones in the future, I give you my solemn pledge that as governor, I and my administration will work with you, not just with your staff, not just with your board, but with you individuals, as individual dentists here in the state of Wisconsin and dental professionals, to make sure that we're not making decisions that directly affect you, your livelihood, and most importantly, your patients, without having the input of you and your association. I think that has been sorely missing over the last 7 years plus during this current administration, and I can tell you that's going to be one of the biggest changes you're going to see in the Walker administration if we have the honor of serving as your governor. When you have such an overwhelming representation of professionals in your field who are part of the Wisconsin Dental Association, it seems only fitting that the administration, and certainly the new administration, will reach out to view you to be a partner and actually contact you before decisions are being made, not after them, or when you read about them in the paper or read about them somewhere else. And for us, our focus today in this campaign will be the same as it is next year, right before the campaign's over. It'll be the same as it will be once we take the oath of office. And that is economic opportunity and prosperity for everyone. Everyone, no matter where they're from, no matter where they live, no matter what they do here in the state of Wisconsin. And I believe to get there, you do it through really simple principles. Economic prosperity and opportunity comes through limited government, lower taxes, fiscal responsibility, and increasingly these days, not only in Madison, but I think in Washington, although I don't have any direct say over that, but a restoration of our personal freedoms and liberties.
The size of government in Milwaukee County, what do you propose to cut in the state government?
Excellent question. In our case, we cut the workforce by about 20, actually almost 23% now, largely through a combination of attrition and through contracting out for services. In fact, I'm in a battle right now. Hopefully we'll be sustained in my vetoes, and I'm trying to get to even things as simple as housekeeping and security. I want to contract out for. Those two things alone save me $1.7 million just in those categories. So it's a pretty fundamental change because the wage and benefit structure is so much higher with public sector employees. I've also had a larger debate in this budget at the county level. The reason I tell you this is I think it gives you, me not just saying it, proving what I've done, proves what I'll do in the future. We're in the middle of a battle over wage and benefits at the county level. I didn't get everything I want, but I got about half, which is about half more than I thought from this county board, in terms of changing public sector wages and benefits. At the state, to control our next budget, we've got to do two things: control spending and promote growth. To control spending, the biggest, single most important thing we can do in state government is balance public and private sector wages and benefits. No other thing drives local or state government the way wage and benefits do, particularly benefits. On the growth side, I think we've got to cut taxes. I would cut taxes for employers. I would cut taxes even on things, for example, like Wisconsin has one of the highest income taxes on retirement income. I think that not only affects the fact that every day we lose retirees to Florida and Arizona, but also to Texas and Tennessee and the Carolinas and other places.
How are you going to deal with if the Assembly and Senate don't change and stay in the hands of Democrats and you get elected as a Republican? All those ideas you just spouted are going to be tough to then implement.
Well, two things in that. One, I hope that we can. I'd like to think I have coattails not because I'm a great guy or look good or anything like that, but because our message is powerful. And I think if candidates in the Assembly and the Senate run on that powerful message, I think if we had an election last Monday on November 2nd, the Assembly, the Senate, the governor would all change here in the state of Wisconsin, just like it did in Virginia and in New Jersey. I have no doubt about it. People are scared, they're mad, they're angry, they're concerned about one thing and one thing only, it's about jobs. And the candidates that have the strongest and most concise message about how we're going to get the state working again are the candidates that are going to win. So if we have others following with us, joining with that message, I believe we can overwhelmingly regain the state Senate and the state Assembly. Having said that, realizing that 354 days from now, who knows what may happen. I actually think we can get stronger, not weaker. But say it doesn't, or say it's split. Mike alluded to some of my statistics. I'm in a county that's never elected a Republican before. I have 19 members on my county board. On a good day, 5 of them are my allies. I have to do what Reagan did when Tip O'Neill was the Speaker of the House back in 1981, and that is leapfrog over the legislative branch and go directly to the people, use the bully pulpit of the office to make the case, particularly in this case about jobs and opportunity. And I believe if we do that firmly and strongly enough, even with a split legislature, for example, we can get many, if not all, those things done.
Just 2 or 3 sentences on what the difference is between how you would run the state as governor and how your Republican opponent would run the state as governor.
Sure, the difference between me and Congressman Newman. I think the biggest difference is our ideals are very similar. Experience may be a little bit different having served in the legislature. But the biggest difference I've heard, at least when I've heard Mark's talk about this, is Mark says his private sector experience makes him better able to create jobs as governor. I just fundamentally disagree with that. I don't believe that the government creates jobs. I believe the government creates an environment that is either better or worse, positive or negative for creating jobs. I don't think we create jobs, I think we create opportunities or barriers to creating jobs. And I think all that I've talked about would create more opportunities, a better environment, a better circumstance to create jobs. What I would like, and I think the other difference is, I'm the only person, Democrat or Republican, in this race who is the chief executive officer of a government at a similar time under similar circumstances to what the next governor will face, who has actually delivered on those things, who's actually held the line on taxes, reduced the size of government, and created a better environment for jobs. If I have the chance to do that, I'd like nothing more than to take that experience, apply it to the governor, so that people in the private sector like Mark Newman can create more jobs in the future.